curious that a lot of people don't ask this question. Why would you call a technology long-term evolution? Is it going to be long-term evolution 5 years from now? Is it going to be long-term evolution 10 years from now? It's like calling your baby a baby thinking that it will never grow. The reason the cellular industry called it long-term evolution was exactly the problem that I showed you. The vendors needed to showcase a technology so that we keep the mobile operators with the promise of a good technology coming that's going to make them successful. But at the same time, they wanted to send a message that, no, right now you should buy HSPA. Long term, they'll give you LTE. And that's the problem with LTE. It's exactly that. We need mobile broadband today, not long term. We don't need a long-term revolution, we need a short-term revolution. And this is, you can quote me on this one. I have the guys who talked about the Alamouti code. You can see this is the second Alamouti law. And that is that as necessity is the mother of invention, WiMAX is the father of LTE. And I'll show you why. And if WiMAX would not have happened, LTE would have never happened. Or I assure you, it was a response to WiMAX. Mobile internet demand is here today, and we have to go with it. We can't wait for LTE. Let's look at the comparison of mobile WiMAX and 3G. There's a lot of fun on this, and the information that I give you is something that you can really rely on, because I have my reputation to, I'm not going to stand up and lie on performances and peak rates and that kind of thing. These are the realities of numbers. If you look at WiMAX, 40 megabits down, 10 megabits up, this is with HSPA today. And then HSPA has a whole bunch of, evolution path. At some point, it gets to the performance of WiMAX, and even better. You see that? And then LTE has the same performance of WiMAX in 10 megabits. And then I'll put for you the future of WiMAX as well. And I'll talk about that later. But these are the numbers. I'm not going to go through them in detail. But there are two things to remember. The current networks, the latencies are too high because of the network architecture is based on voice. And the data rates are too slow. But these will change basically with LTE. So I decided to bring you a slide to show you the type of marketing games that is being played in the cellular industry. So I brought you a slide. These are the peak rates of these technologies that are supposed to be coming. And these are the average rates that you get. Okay? So if you look at peak rate, 64 QAM, MIMO 2x2, who cares about what this means? But this is a technology that probably will be available, if ever, in 2012. It's on the roadmap. It's going to give you 40 megabits per second, but really, it's giving you 6. Okay? And you would think, why would you do such an evolution? And by the way, this slide is not from me, it's from Nokia Siemens. I can't give you this slide. You can go search for it on the internet. And then wonder, why would an industry do this? Spend billions of dollars to get, small 10, 20%. The problem is not 20%, it's not 30%. The problem is we need 100 times the capacity of the cellular networks today. So let's look at WiMAX and LTE comparison. Standard completion, we completed in December 2005. LTE, March 2009. Completed almost 3 years sooner. It has taken 4 years for WiMAX to mature. And if you guys don't know, 3G, the first release of 3G was called Release 99. That's release, that means release 1999. Finally, in 2009, we are seeing 3G take off in any meaningful way, right? 10 years to mature from standardization. March 2009. Okay, cut it down, make it 3, 4 years, but can it be done any faster than that? I doubt it. It hasn't been done before, and I'm very skeptical that it's going to be done any faster. Spectral efficiency. We have achieved 1.4 today. The technology on a spec in a simulation is 1.6. LTE is claiming 1.6. So from spectral efficiency, how much data can you put on a piece of spectrum? That's what it means. It's exactly the same. And it should be no surprise. It's the same bag of goods. OFDM, MIMOs, the same technology, right? Latency. 40 milliseconds, we have achieved it and we're showing it. 30 milliseconds planned. And the reason it was 30 milliseconds because WiMAX was 40 milliseconds. So you have to write the specs for the latency to look really good. Network is all IP. If you look at the design of the WiMAX network, is layer 1, layer 2 IP. Layer 1, layer 2 IP on all nodes. Here it's IP, everybody's doing IP. But it has a whole bunch of proprietary protocols on top. And in the package that I've given you, there's actually, it shows you, there's PDCP, there's GTP, there's a whole bunch of protocols that make it very complex to build these networks. Device cost, Wi-Fi life, device cost of LTE. Should we expect the next generation technology to be cheaper than a technology that has reached maturity after 10 years? I am skeptical. I don't know about you. What it's going to cost, we don't know. Intellectual property, widely distributed, LTE, held by a few companies, very much like 3G. Duplexing, TDD, and duplexing, FDD, except for China. These are the differences between LTE and WiMAX. There really is no difference there. This was the protocol. This kind of gives you a picture in terms of complexity of the two networks, philosophies, and all of that. But again, you can have that as a reference. The other big misinformation on LTE is that it's long-term, and I agree it's long-term. This evolution, the evolution piece of the story is pretty interesting, because if you look at the networks of today, in order to get to a LTE network or a WiMAX network, you have to upgrade your entire base station. You have to basically take the base stations out and put new base stations in, okay? And then the core network, which is your billing, your home agent, the service gateway, and all of that, the backbone of the network, it also needs to get fully upgraded for LTE. There is no reuse whatsoever between the legacy networks of 2G and 3G and LTE. None whatsoever. Yet, they call it an evolution. Long-term truth, evolution, false. It's not an evolution, it's a complete forklift upgrade. And I've been saying this for the last 2 or 3 years. There has been not a single, I've said it in, keynote speeches on, where, my friends from Ericsson and Qualcomm sitting there on the same table, and none of them have got up and be able to say, no, this is not true. It is true, it's not an evolution. So both WiMAX and LTE require new RAN equipment, entirely new core, and 100 times the backhaul. By the way, one of the big problems is actually the backhaul. Neither is backward compatible to 3G. Both can interwork well with both 2G and 3G networks. There's some little details on handover, single radio operation, and all of that in terms of differences that make tight interworking between 3G and LTE. But there's no fundamental difference in the two technologies in terms of. So the other question is, what